Greetings, friends, and welcome to the first episode of the Yes Music Podcast video series. So in this little series, we're going to discuss about various different things relating to Yes. And for the debut episode, I figured let's start at the very beginning. Let's talk about the first Yes album. So I'm going to just run through the pressings of the first album that I have, and also I'll show a copy of a CD version of it that I have, and maybe compare notes on what we all have, and talk about some interesting things about the various pressings and the various CDs that we have, and take it from there. So I have three. I have a Canadian pressing, I have a US pressing that's very early, I don't believe it's a first pressing, maybe a second pressing, and I have a reissue UK one from the 70s. I believe it is 1972 actually, and I have a CD I'm going to show as well. So let's get started. So this is the cover of the Canadian pressing for the debut Yes record. Obviously the UK version has a different cover to it. Here's the back. You'll notice down at the bottom it says manufactured by WEA Music Canada at the very, very bottom, right there. And there's the catalog number SD8243. Now that'll be the same for the US as well. Essentially the back for the US one will be the same as the Canadian one as well. This one didn't come with an insert, unfortunately. And here is the album. Side one. Side two. You notice at the bottom, the very bottom, you'll see that there's like that serial number and then the PR at the very bottom beside it. That's to indicate the pressing company. If you want to get into real details about where the albums were pressed and stuff like that, you can get to really deep nitty gritty with this stuff, but we'll keep it kind of simple. I know sometimes if you get too deep with this stuff, you kind of turn people off on it, so I'll keep it pretty simple. This is the US. Now, for the most part, it looks very much the same as the Canadian. Now, if you look at the back here, you'll notice that the way the album is put together in the back, it's almost like this is like a sticker almost peeled onto the back. This is a different type of style of a jacket that was mainly done in the United States. You'll notice that also there's no real information down here at all in regards to any kind of distribution company or anything. Everything is written right there. In fact, you'll see Atlantic Recording Corporation right here. There we go. And that's a very important indicator of what pressing this is. When you have that 1841 Broadway, New York there, that's a very early pressing. That's like, we're talking possibly a first, most likely a second. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is a second. I think the first ones had a solid red center label on the vinyl. Now I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. Also, you may not be able to notice that here, but I can tell you that this vinyl is a hell of a lot sturdier. There's absolutely no wobble to this at all, which means that it's almost like it's a considerably thicker vinyl than the Canadian one was. And if you take a look here, see if I can get this. Now it's at the bottom there. If I can get it to zoom. Sorry guys. But you'll see down there, it says New York. At the very bottom there. That's the address, which is that Broadway address again. That's a bit better. You should be able to see there. The 1841 Broadway at the very bottom. This one also has the PR at the bottom, which means that it's a press wallet as well. Now the last one, as far as vinyl goes, is this UK press, which has the very famous bubble kind of logo. Now the back is the same as the front, but unlike the US and the Canadian, this is a gatefold. So you have the band here. And over here you have there you go. And you'll notice underneath the Atlantic emblem there, it says K40034. That is the catalog number for the UK version of this record. Now, I'm sure most vinyl collectors will tell you the same thing I'm going to tell you. If you want to get the best sounding pressing, always buy the pressing from the country that the band is from. Yes, they're from the UK. Buy the UK one if you want the best sounding version of the record. Side one. Side two. Now, I've played this one plenty of times on my turntable, and it's true, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Great bottom end, great clarity on it, no over compression or over limiting like they do in pressings now, especially on CDs. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. And the last thing I'm going to show you really quickly is 2013, I believe they came out with what was called the Yes box set album series, the studio albums only from 1969 to 1987. They were remastered and expanded. This has the same cover as the British release. In fact, these are kind of designed to be like miniature albums. And with that in mind, they also did a sort of gatefold for it as well. Fantastic recreation of it. And what's interesting, and this is how I know that I don't have a first pressing of the British one, is that they used the first pressing center label design on the CD, but the UK center one. And that is this design, which is the more purple and red. It doesn't have the red and the white and the green like the ones that I showed you. The original ones would have this kind of design with that kind of lettering, as well how the Atlantic is spelt over on the other side. Over here. How Atlantic is spelt, it would be in that font. And it would be in this color. Now, as you can see, that's an expanded version. It has Every Day's Dear Father, Something's Coming, an early demo version, I believe, or an early version of Dear Father again, and a very early version of Something's Coming. Now let me just double check. Yeah, the Every Days is a single edit version. The Dear Father is an early version number 2. Something's Coming is just a straight recording that they did of it. Every Days is an early version of it. It's not the single version. And the other Dear Father that's on here is the early version, the very first version of it. And Something's Coming is an early attempt at it as well. So you have all those on here as well. Sorry, I'm trying to get the hang of how to do this. There we go. Okay, so there we go. That's the first record. We all know that it didn't really do too much in terms of sales initially. In fact, rumor had it that this album sold in a few thousands when it first came out, which is not a lot at all. But we all know how the story ended, so that's how this starts. The next video that I'll be back with, we will take a look at Time in a Word. So until that time, my friends, thank you for watching, and this is Mark Anthony K saying I'll be back again very soon. Bye for now.